The galaxy was old. Stars burned and died. Empires rose and fell like waves upon a great sea. Yet among all the ancient stories whispered in the long halls of memory, one tale remained unfinished: the story of Earth. 5,000 years had passed since anyone had seen the cradle of humanity. To most of the galaxy, Earth was not history but myth. Scholars argued it had been destroyed in some forgotten war. Merchants claimed it was swallowed by a black hole. Priests in distant temples even preached that Earth had never existed at all, that humanity was a scattered people created by chance, with no single homeworld to call their own. But there were always a few who wondered. One of them was Commander Eric Hale, a tall, sharp-eyed officer in the Exploration Corps of the Galactic Empire. He was human, though in these times that word carried little weight. Humans were a common species spread across many worlds, often treated as second-class citizens beneath the more powerful alien dynasties. Yet Arik was different. He carried in his heart a stubborn belief that humanity had once been more than wanderers. Somewhere hidden in the endless dark, their true home still waited. The Discovery. The story began when Arik's ship, Starlance, drifted into an uncharted region near the edge of the Orion Arm. The mission was routine: scan systems, map planets, and mark resources for the Empire. But the system they entered was strange. A yellow sun glowed warmly at its center, surrounded by familiar rocky planets. There was a belt of asteroids, a giant with pale rings, and beyond it, frozen spheres of ice. Nothing unusual, except one small blue-green world. "Readings show a breathable atmosphere," said Lieutenant Solara, an alien with skin like polished silver, gravity within human tolerance, water, forests, continents. "Commander, this planet is alive." Arik stared at the holographic display. His chest tightened. The planet looked like the ones in his childhood stories: oceans of blue, clouds swirling white, green continents brimming with promise. "Designation?" he asked. "Unregistered," Solara replied. "But the old star maps?" There was a faint reference. "Terra Zero." The bridge fell silent. The name was a whisper of legend, a ghost returning after millennia. Terra. Earth. Arik's heart raced. Could it be? After 5,000 years? "Prepare descent," he ordered. His voice was steady, but inside he trembled, touching the forgotten world. The Starlance descended through white clouds and broke into sunlight. Below stretched vast oceans glittering like molten sapphire. Continents spread wide, painted in green and brown. Mountain ranges pierced the skies, their peaks dusted with snow. No alien colony scarred the land. No imperial mines drilled into the soil. This world was untouched, wild, free, waiting. The ship landed in a meadow of tall golden grass. The air was fresh and clean, carrying the scent of pine and rain. Birds wheeled overhead singing bright songs. The crew stepped out in silence as if entering a holy place. For Arik, it was more than a discovery. It was recognition. Though he had never walked these lands, something inside him whispered, "You belong here. This is home." Solara knelt, brushing her silver fingers over the soil. Strange, no record of colonization, yet the environment is perfect for life. Arik walked slowly, touching the grass, the stones, the wind. He felt as if the planet itself was watching, waiting. The first sign hours later, while surveying a nearby forest, they found it. A structure half buried beneath roots and moss. It was not natural. Stone walls rose in careful patterns, weathered by time but still standing. Symbols marked the surface, lines that curved and crossed in ways none of the crew recognized. "An ancient settlement," Solara whispered. Arik ran his hand across the stone. The markings were not alien. They were human. "Record everything," he ordered. His voice shook, though not with fear, with awe. "This isn't just a planet. This is Earth." The others exchanged uncertain glances. For them, Earth was a myth, a word used in bedtime tales. Yet here it stood solid under their boots. As night fell, they camped beside the ruins. Stars filled the sky, bright and sharp, as if closer than on any other world. Arik lay awake, staring upward, wondering if his ancestors had once looked at the same constellations. The hidden vault on the second day. While exploring deeper into the ruins, the crew discovered a sealed doorway. It was a massive slab of dark stone, smooth as glass, with no seams or handles. At its center was a circular indentation like a waiting lock. The aliens in the team tried first. Solara placed her hand on the circle, then pulled back with a frown. Nothing happened. Others attempted as well, nothing. Finally, Arik stepped forward. He pressed his palm against the cold surface. The stone pulsed with light. The circle glowed blue, lines spreading outward like rivers of fire. The ground trembled. Slowly, the door slid open with a sound like the sigh of the earth itself. Beyond it, a chamber glimmered with faint lights, untouched for thousands of years. The crew gasped. "It reacts only to you," Solara said softly. "To human touch." Arik's breath caught in his throat. His people had been dismissed as ordinary, weak compared to other species. Yet here was proof that Earth remembered them. Inside the chamber were rows of machines, silent but unbroken. Their surfaces gleamed with alloys unknown to the Empire. Symbols glowed faintly, pulsing in rhythm with Arik's heartbeat. One of the crew whispered, "This technology, it's older than the Empire itself." Arik nodded, though his mind whirled with questions. Who built this? How had it lasted 5,000 years? And why did it respond only to humans? The Empire must not know. That evening, around the campfire, the crew argued. Some wanted to contact the Empire immediately to report the discovery. Such a find would bring glory, wealth, and power. But others were afraid. The Empire did not value history. It valued control. If they learned Earth had such secrets, they would seize it, strip it, enslave it. Arik remained silent, staring at the fire. He thought of the chamber, of the machines waiting in the dark, and of the planet that had welcomed him with open skies. At last, he spoke. "If the Empire knows, Earth will be destroyed again. We must protect it," Solara frowned. "Commander, this is treason." "No," Arik replied quietly. "This is survival.
Humanity has been scattered and broken for too long.
This world, it is our beginning, and maybe it is our future." The crew fell silent, caught between loyalty to the Empire and the strange pull of this forgotten planet. Above them, the stars shone bright, ancient witnesses to the return of their lost children. The weight of destiny, Arik walked alone at dawn, following the path of a river that glittered in the morning light. He felt the earth beneath his boots solid and strong, as though the planet itself breathed with him. For the first time in his life, he did not feel small beneath the vastness of the galaxy. He felt chosen. The Empire had ruled for millennia, believing itself unshakable. But now Arik understood a truth the galaxy had forgotten. Humanity's story was not over. Earth was not dead. It had been waiting, silent and patient, for its children to return. And now, after 5,000 years, they had. The discovery would not remain secret forever. Sooner or later the Empire would learn, and when they did, the galaxy would tremble. But for now, standing on the soil of his true home, Arik felt no fear. He felt only destiny. The lost Earth had been found, and nothing would ever be the same again. The discovery of Earth spread quickly among the crew of the Starlets. Though they swore secrecy, the truth was too heavy to keep locked away in silence. Each crew member felt the weight of history pressing on their hearts. They had found the origin world, the lost home of humankind, untouched for 5,000 years. Yet it was not only the forests, oceans, and skies that astonished them. It was what lay beneath, the hidden chamber, the machines that stirred at human touch. Commander Arik Hale could not forget the sight. He could still feel the faint thrum in his hand from when the great stone door had opened at his presence. The machines had seemed alive, waiting for him, glowing faintly as if welcoming a long-lost child. But what were they? Why had they been buried? And what secret did Earth guard so carefully? The ancient chamber at dawn, Arik returned to the chamber with a small team. They carried scanners, lights, and recording devices. The air inside was cool and dry, untouched by age. The walls shimmered with lines of faint blue energy that pulsed like veins. Lieutenant Solara's silver eyes studied the markings. "Commander, this is beyond anything I know. These alloys are not in Imperial records. They are stronger than tritanium. The energy fields are stable after millennia. Impossible." Arik touched one of the machines. It resembled a great console, its surface smooth and seamless. As his hand rested on it, symbols bloomed to life, human letters, ancient and simple. Solara gasped. "It recognizes you." Arik read the glowing words. They were not in the Empire's common tongue, but in Old Earth English. He knew the language only from history lessons, half-forgotten texts. Yet here it felt natural. Humanity's heart. Access granted. The crew stared in silence. What does it mean? Solara whispered. Arik shook his head. I don't know, but this technology is tied to us, to humanity. Uneasy thoughts that night, the crew debated again. This could change everything, said Navigator Tauren, a heavy-scaled alien. If the Empire gains this, they will have power no one can resist. Or, argued Solara, if we keep it hidden, we risk being hunted. Secrets like this do not stay buried. Someone will talk. Someone always talks. Arik remained quiet for a time. He looked out at the forest beyond the camp. The wind stirred the leaves, carrying the scent of Earth's soil. Finally, he spoke. This planet, these machines, they are not meant for the Empire. They are meant for us, for humanity. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Treason was a dangerous word, yet none could deny the truth. Earth had answered only to Arik, not to any alien hand. Rumors in the Empire, despite their efforts, whispers spread. A trader ship picked up unusual signals near the system. A coded report reached the Imperial Senate. Soon rumors drifted through the vast capital. A hidden world discovered, rich with forgotten technology, responding only to human touch. At first, the senators laughed. Humans, a minor race, scattered and weak, heirs to nothing. But as reports grew, the laughter faded. Fear replaced it. If humanity controlled something older and stronger than the Empire, what would it mean? The Senate ordered fleets to investigate. The Emperor himself grew restless, demanding answers. Earth responds. Meanwhile, Arik's team worked tirelessly within the chamber. The machines, once dormant, awakened piece by piece. They hummed softly, glowing brighter as if fed by the presence of humans. One day, as Arik placed his hand upon the main console, the chamber shook. The walls rippled with light and a holographic map filled the air, a map of the galaxy. Lines stretched across the stars, bright rivers connecting system to system. Solara gasped. These are ancient routes, faster than hyperspace, instant travel across light years. Arik's throat tightened. The Empire had always ruled through control of the hyperlanes. But if humanity possessed a different network, older, faster, hidden, the balance of power would shatter. The words on the console glowed again. The heart waits for its children. The key is humanity. The power is life itself. What does it mean? Solara asked softly. Arik could only whisper. It means Earth was never lost. It was waiting. For us. First contact with the Empire, their secrecy did not last. Weeks later, as dawn broke over the mountains, alarms rang aboard the Starlets. Imperial warships had entered the system, sleek black vessels bearing the crest of the Emperor. Commander, Solara said urgently. They know. Arik stood on the bridge, his jaw set. Then it begins, the warships hailed them. The image of Admiral Kaelor filled the screen, a stern alien with eyes like cold steel. Commander Hale, Kaelor said, his voice sharp. By order of the Emperor, you are to surrender all findings. This planet and its artifacts belong to the Galactic Empire. Arik felt the crew's eyes on him. His heart pounded, but his voice was steady. This planet is Earth, he said. The birthplace of humanity. It belongs to no empire. It belongs to us. The Admiral's expression hardened. You forget your place, human. Do as ordered or be destroyed. Earth awakens as the fleet advanced. Arik made a choice. He activated the console within the chamber. Light surged across the ruins, racing into the ground like rivers of fire. The Earth trembled, mountains rumbling in the distance. Above the planet, enormous structures stirred. Vast rings hidden in orbit, cloaked for millennia. They unfolded like petals, glowing with power. The Imperial ships halted, scanning wildly. What is this? Admiral Kaelor shouted. Arik's voice was calm. This is Earth's answer. The ancient defense grid came alive. Energy fields shimmered around the planet. Towers rose from the oceans, casting light into the skies. The Imperial fleet opened fire, but their weapons fizzled harmlessly against the shields. Solara whispered, Incredible. This world, it protects itself. The message was clear. Earth had not been abandoned. It had been hidden, guarded, waiting for its children to return. The choice of humanity. The Starlance crew watched in awe as the Imperial fleet retreated, shaken by a force they could not understand. The galaxy would soon know. The Senate would panic. The Emperor would rage. Arik stood in the glowing chamber staring at the map of the galaxy. His people had been scattered for thousands of years, treated as weak and ordinary. Yet now they held the key to a power older than the Empire itself. He knew the time of hiding was over. Humanity had been forgotten, but no longer. The galaxy would remember. Solara stepped beside him. "Commander, what will you do?" Arik looked at the map, at the countless stars waiting. "I will call them home," he said. "Every human across the galaxy. They must know Earth lives. They must know who they truly are." The chamber pulsed brighter as if the planet itself approved. The whispers of power had begun. And soon they would shake the entire galaxy. The galaxy was restless. Rumors of Earth spread like wildfire, whispered in markets, taverns, and starports. Some dismissed the story as myth, a trick made by desperate humans. Others believed it, and fear began to grow. If Earth was real, and if it held technology beyond the Empire's reach, then everything might change. The Emperor's throne on the capital world trembled, not from attack, but from doubt. The Senate argued loudly, voices clashing like thunder. Some demanded the complete destruction of Earth before it became a threat. Others whispered that perhaps alliances with humans should be reconsidered. But one truth could not be denied. The first Imperial fleet had failed. The planet had defended itself. A world thought dead for 5,000 years had awakened. The burden of command on Earth's surface, Commander Eric Hale stood within the ancient chamber. The galaxy map still glowed above the console, showing countless stars linked by bright lines of hidden routes. His crew watched him, waiting for his decision. Arik felt the weight of history pressing down on him. He was just a man, a soldier raised in the shadow of the Empire, yet the planet answered to him. Earth itself seemed to recognize his blood, his humanity. Lieutenant Solara stepped forward. Her silver skin reflected the blue light of the chamber. "Commander, the Empire will not stay away. They will return with greater force. We cannot face them alone." Arik nodded slowly. "No, we cannot. But we are not alone. Humanity is scattered across the stars. Millions, maybe billions, living under the Empire. If they know Earth lives, they will come. This planet can be their beacon." Navigator Torin rumbled low, his scaled form tense. "If you call them, the Empire will see it as rebellion." Arik looked at the glowing map. "It will be more than rebellion. It will be awakening." The first signal that night, Arik activated the console again. He placed his hand on the surface, and the machines responded eagerly, humming with power. A voice calm and clear spoke from the walls, not a person but the system itself. Message relay online. Range unlimited. Shall we call the children? Arik hesitated. This was no ordinary communication system. It was far older, far stronger than any technology in the galaxy. The signal could cross light years instantly, reaching every human-descended colony. "Yes," Arik said firmly. "Call them." The chamber filled with light. Energy surged upward, racing into the sky. Across the galaxy, in distant mining stations, crowded cities, and hidden farms, humans suddenly felt a strange pulse in their minds, a whisper that stirred their blood. It was not words, not exactly. It was a feeling, a call, a message of home. Some fell to their knees in tears, overwhelmed. Others looked at the stars with new fire in their eyes. The forgotten world had spoken. Earth was alive. The Empire strikes back. The Emperor was furious when he learned of the signal. His advisors reported unrest in human colonies. Workers had stopped their labors. Soldiers had questioned orders. Families spoke openly of returning to a home they had never seen. "Crush it," the Emperor commanded. "Erase that planet from existence." The Second Fleet was assembled, larger, stronger, carrying weapons designed to shatter worlds. Admiral Kaelor, humiliated from his earlier retreat, demanded the honor of leading it. As the fleet prepared to depart, senators whispered in secret chambers. They feared what might come. If Earth's defenses held again, the Empire's strength would look weak. Some even wondered if siding with humanity would be safer than resisting them. The secrets of the machines on Earth, Arik studied the machines with Solara and the others. The chamber seemed endless, with corridors leading to more hidden rooms, each filled with technology long dormant. One chamber held great spheres of crystal that glowed faintly when touched. Another revealed floating drones, sleek and silent, awaiting commands. Solara's voice trembled with awe. Commander, this is not just a vault. It is an arsenal. The planet is a fortress. Arik placed his hand on one of the glowing consoles. Instantly, another hologram appeared. This one showing Earth itself wrapped in layers of defense. Orbital rings, hidden cannons, and energy fields that could bend attacks aside. This world was never lost. Arik murmured. It was hidden, protected until we returned. But he also saw something deeper etched into the data. A warning. Power must serve life, not conquest. If misused, the heart will close forever. Arik understood. Earth's gift was not meant for domination. It was meant for survival, for unity. The second arrival, the day came swiftly. The Imperial fleet entered the system, hundreds of warships blotting out the stars. Their weapons glowed like suns, ready to strike. From the lead ship, Admiral Kalor broadcast his message. His voice was filled with pride and anger. Commander Hale, surrender your claim. Deliver the planet's secrets to the Empire or watch Earth burn. Arik stood in the ancient chamber listening. His crew looked at him, fear and hope in their eyes. He pressed his hand to the console. The planet answered. The sky lit up as Earth's defenses awakened fully. Rings in orbit unfolded, shimmering with shields. Towers rose from oceans, launching beams of light into the heavens. The Imperial fleet fired in unison, but their blasts struck the shields and scattered harmlessly. Solara whispered in wonder. The planet is alive. Admiral Kalor ordered another barrage, but the weapons had no effect. Panic rippled through the Imperial crews. Ships wavered, captains unsure whether to advance or retreat. Then Earth struck back, not to destroy, but to warn. A single beam of light lanced upward, grazing one of the largest ships. It did not explode, but every system within the ship went dead. Power gone. Weapons useless. Engines silent. The message was clear. Earth could end them in an instant, but chose restraint. A spark. Across the stars, news spread faster than the Empire could contain. Across the galaxy, humans rejoiced. Colonies began to speak openly of freedom, of returning to their birthplace. Songs were sung in the streets. Children painted stars with the word Earth beside them. For the first time in thousands of years, humanity felt united. Arik watched the news with quiet pride. But he also felt the storm gathering. The Emperor would not surrender easily. More fleets would come. Stronger weapons would be built. Solara studied him. Commander, do you realize what you've done? You've awakened not just Earth, but your entire species. Arik nodded. Yes, humanity has been scattered, forgotten, treated as nothing. But now, the galaxy will remember, and it will never be the same again. The quiet before the storm, the Imperial fleet retreated, humiliated a second time. Admiral Kalor vowed vengeance, swearing to bring Earth down with his own hands. On Earth's surface, Arik walked through the meadows where his ship had first landed. The grass swayed in the wind, golden under the sun. He thought of the billions of humans scattered across the stars, each one now hearing the same call. He knew they would come. Ships filled with families, soldiers, dreamers, all seeking the home they had never known. Earth would not be empty for long, but he also knew the Empire would come again, and next time they would not come only with ships. They would come with fear, with cunning, with everything they had. Still, Arik felt no despair. For the first time in 5,000 years, humanity was not lost. They were found, they were awakening, and the galaxy would soon tremble at the return of its forgotten children. The galaxy was no longer the same. What had once been whispers was now a storm. Across the stars, humans spoke the word Earth with pride and longing. They wore it as a banner, painted it on ships, whispered it in secret meetings. The call from the hidden world had touched every human heart, but the Galactic Empire felt only fear. The Emperor sat upon his throne of crystal and steel, his voice echoing through the Senate chambers. If Earth rises, the Empire falls. We cannot allow these humans to unite. They must be broken before they remember their strength. The senators trembled. Some urged caution, others demanded war. But the Emperor had already decided. A third strike would be prepared, not only fleets but also spies, infiltrators, and secret weapons drawn from the darkest vaults of Imperial science. The clash of wills had begun. The gathering of the lost on Earth. Commander Arik Hale watched ships arrive one by one. At first they were small. Freighters, old shuttles, mining vessels held together with hope and determination. Families stepped out onto the soil, weeping with joy as they touched the ground. Then came more, Warships abandoned by human captains who no longer wished to serve the Empire. Merchant fleets rerouted their courses, declaring loyalty to Earth. Scientists, artists, and wanderers all came, each answering the ancient call. Within weeks, tens of thousands gathered. They built camps in the meadows, shelters along the rivers, and great fires that burned through the night. Humanity, scattered for 5,000 years, was finally coming home. Solara watched with quiet wonder. Your people, they return like rivers flowing to the sea. Arik nodded. Earth is the heart. We were always drawn to it, even if we didn't know why. But he also knew joy could not last forever. The Empire would strike again, harder than before. Shadows among them, not all who came were true. Among the refugees and travelers were those who served the Empire in secret. Disguised as humans, they carried small devices, recording everything they saw. They studied Earth's defenses, searching for weaknesses. Arik suspected infiltration. He ordered patrols and security, but the camps were too large, the people too many. Trust was easy to give in times of hope, and the shadows moved unseen. One night, a hidden transmitter was discovered, buried beneath a tent. It had been sending signals into deep space, guiding the Empire's fleets. Torin growled when he saw it. They know everything now. Arik clenched his fists. Then we must be ready. Earth must show the galaxy it cannot be taken. The voice of Earth in the great chamber, Arik sought answers. He placed his hand on the console, and once again the machine stirred with light. The voice of Earth, calm and ageless, spoke. Children of humanity, the test is near. Strength is not in weapons alone, but in unity. If you stand together, no empire can break you. Arik bowed his head. We will stand. The holographic map shifted, revealing hidden stations scattered across the solar system. Ancient satellites, cloaked and forgotten, came alive. Their signals reached the human fleets, linking them into a single network. For the first time, Earth's defenders could see the Empire's movements before they arrived. Solara whispered. The planet itself guides you, Arik replied softly. No, it guides us all. The Empire returns. The Third Fleet came with fire. Hundreds of warships, larger than any before, poured into the system. Their formation was perfect, their weapons burning bright. At their head flew Admiral Kalor's flagship, black and vast as a mountain. From orbit, his voice thundered, Earth belongs to the Empire. Submit now, or be erased from the stars. The humans answered not with surrender, but with song. Across the camps, voices rose in old Earth languages, fragments of songs carried through centuries. The words were simple, but the meaning clear. We are home. We will not bow. Arik stood before the console. Defenses ready? Torin growled. Shields at full strength. Orbital rings armed. But they outnumber us 20-1. Arik's gaze hardened. Then we will show them that numbers cannot defeat unity. The battle in the sky, the Empire fired first. Beams of light rained down upon Earth, but the ancient shields held strong, shimmering like a dome of fire. The orbital rings unleashed their own power, striking with precision. Imperial ships fell, their systems disabled as if crushed by an unseen hand. But the Empire pressed harder. Waves of fighters swarmed, hammering at the shields. Massive capital ships pushed forward, shaking the very air with their bombardments. Inside the chamber, Arik guided the defenses through the console. His hands moved with instinct, as though Earth itself flowed through him. Every strike he commanded was answered by the planet's ancient systems. Solara watched in awe. It's as if you were born for this. Arik's voice was steady. I was, we all were. Humanity was always meant to protect this world and be protected by it. The turning point, despite Earth's strength, the battle dragged on. The Empire's numbers were overwhelming. Several orbital rings shattered under heavy fire. Shields flickered. The refugees below huddled together, praying the defenses would hold. Then something unexpected happened. Human ships, old freighters and scavenger vessels rose into the sky. Their crews, untrained and poorly armed, joined the fight. They rammed Imperial fighters, blocked enemy fire, and shielded Earth's defenses with their own hulls. Commander, Torin shouted. They'll be destroyed. Arik's voice was calm but proud. They know the risk, but they would rather fall for Earth than live as slaves. The courage of the human ships inspired others. More vessels rose, converted transports, stolen warships, even civilian craft. Together they formed a shield of willpower around their homeworld. The Empire faltered. For the first time, their disciplined fleets wavered, shaken by the fire of human unity. Kalor's Rathon, his flagship, Admiral Kalor roared with fury. These vermin dare defy the Empire. Crush them. He unleashed his secret weapon, a colossal cannon mounted within the ship's core. Energy gathered, enough to pierce even Earth's shields. Arik saw the charge on his display. His chest tightened. If the weapon fired, the planet itself might shatter. "Solara," he barked, "target that weapon." Solara's fingers flew over the controls, but the defenses could not lock fast enough. The weapon grew brighter, seconds from release. Then from the darkness of space another light appeared. A massive shape descended, one of Earth's hidden guardians. A construct larger than any Imperial ship, awakened from its long slumber. It moved with silent grace, intercepting the flagship. The cannon fired, but the construct absorbed the blast, its body glowing with energy. With a single sweep it struck Kalor's ship, sending it spinning helplessly into the void. The Empire's fleets froze. Their leader was defeated. Their greatest weapon, useless. The will of a people. The Empire retreated once more, their fleets scattering into the stars. The sky above Earth cleared, leaving only wreckage and silence. On the ground, cheers erupted. Humanity, for the first time in 5,000 years, had stood against the might of the Empire, and endured. Arik stood on the meadow where it had all begun, watching the sky. His heart swelled with pride, but also with caution. The battle was won, but the war was not over. Solara stepped beside him. "The Empire will come again." "You know this," Arik nodded. "Yes, but now they know the truth. Humanity is not weak. Earth is not forgotten. We are one people united." He looked at the refugees, the soldiers, the children playing in the grass of their reborn home. He saw not fear, but fire in their eyes. "The clash of wills has begun," Arik said softly, "and the galaxy will soon learn whose will is stronger." Above, Earth's ancient defenses glowed faintly, like stars watching over their children. The lost world was no longer silent. It was alive, awake, and ready. The Empire had been shaken. Across the galaxy, news of Earth's victory spread faster than the Empire could control. Star systems whispered of a single world that had defied the greatest fleet, of a people long thought weak who now stood strong. For the first time in millennia, the name of the Emperor no longer inspired only fear, it inspired doubt. Seeds of rebellion in distant colonies, humans lifted their heads with pride. Miners laid down their tools, no longer willing to labor under harsh masters. Soldiers whispered to each other in barracks, wondering why they should serve an empire that treated their kind as lesser. Even non-human species began to question. If Earth could resist, perhaps the Empire was not invincible after all. Perhaps its throne was not eternal. The Senate grew restless. Senators argued in hidden chambers, some calling for negotiation with Earth, others urging complete destruction. But unity among them was fading. The Emperor's grip was loosening, the return to Earth on. Earth's surface camps had grown into towns. Fields were planted, workshops built, and banners of blue and green waved in the wind. Humanity was returning not just in spirit, but in life. Commander Eric Hale stood before the great chamber, watching as children ran through the meadows, their laughter echoing across the valley. Families had begun to call this place home again. Solara approached, her silver eyes thoughtful. "You have done what no one thought possible. You have brought your people together." Arik shook his head. "I only answered the call. It was Earth that brought us back." Still, he could not ignore the shadow on the horizon. The Empire was wounded but not defeated. The final struggle was yet to come. The Emperor's decision far away in the heart of the Empire, the Emperor sat in silence upon his throne. His once proud Admiral Kalor had been humiliated twice. Fleets had been broken. The galaxy whispered of failure. The Emperor's voice was cold as stone. "If the galaxy believes I can be defied, then my throne is already cracked. I will not allow this." He ordered his greatest armada ever assembled, thousands of ships armed with weapons drawn from secret vaults prepared for war. At the center of it all was a colossal dreadnought, an entire city of destruction designed to erase planets. The Emperor himself would lead this fleet. If Earth would not bow, then he would crush it personally. The call for unity. When word reached Earth, fear spread through the camps. The might of the Empire was beyond measure. No single planet could stand against it, but Arik did not falter. He stood before the gathered people, his voice strong. Brothers and sisters of humanity, he declared, the Empire comes to break us, but we are no longer scattered. We are no longer forgotten. We are one people united by this world, our true home. The Empire believes power is in numbers and fear, but true power is here in our hearts, and in the will of Earth itself. His words carried across the camps, across the ships orbiting above, and even through secret channels to human colonies still under Imperial rule. Hope turned into resolve. Ships continued to arrive, fleets of humans ready to fight not just for survival, but for freedom. Earth had become more than a home. It had become a symbol. The final battle, the Emperor's armada entered the system like a black storm. Thousands of warships surrounded Earth, their weapons glowing like suns. At their center, the dreadnought loomed, its shadow covering the stars. On Earth, defenses awakened. Rings of light spun in orbit, shields shimmered across the planet, and ancient constructs rose from oceans and mountains. Admiral Kalor's voice thundered through the void, carrying the Emperor's command. This world is forbidden. Humanity is forbidden. Kneel or be destroyed. Arik stood within the chamber, his hand on the console. We will never kneel. The battle began. Imperial weapons lit the skies, shaking the shields. Earth's defenses answered, striking with precision. Human ships fought with reckless bravery, weaving between enemy cruisers, striking from every angle. The dreadnought advanced, its main cannon charging with power. One shot could break even Earth's defenses. Arik felt the planet tremble beneath him. The console glowed brighter, as though the world itself was calling to him. Child of Earth, the voice whispered, the heart is yours to command. But remember, power must serve life, not conquest. Arik closed his eyes, then spoke. Then let it be for life. Earth's true power, the chamber shook. Light burst across the planet, racing through mountains, rivers, and skies. From the core of the Earth itself rose a colossal figure, an ancient construct of stone and light. Taller than cities, glowing like a second sun. The galaxy watched in awe. The dreadnought fired its cannon, but the beam struck the construct and dissolved into nothing. The giant raised its arm, and with a single motion, every Imperial ship was thrown aside as if by an unseen wave. The Emperor's fleet broke. Thousands of ships scattered, fleeing in terror. Even the dreadnought cracked, its hull splitting as the giant's light surrounded it. The Emperor's voice cried out in fury, but then was gone. The dreadnought exploded in silence, fragments scattering into the stars. The throne of the Empire had shattered. A new dawn. The battle was over. The skies cleared. Earth stood unbroken, its people united. On the meadows, refugees cheered. In orbit, human ships lit their beacons in celebration. Across the galaxy, word spread, the Emperor was gone. His throne destroyed and the Empire's will broken. For the first time in thousands of years, humanity was free. Arik stood with Solara at the edge of a cliff, looking out over forests and rivers bathed in golden light. It's over, he whispered. Solara smiled softly. No, Commander. It is only beginning. The galaxy has lost its master. What comes next will shape every star. Arik nodded. He thought of the billions of humans across the galaxy, all waiting for a future not ruled by fear. Earth would not conquer them, it would guide them. The age of humanity has begun, he said quietly, and this time, we will not be forgotten. Epilogue. The flame of Earth. Years later, travelers told the tale across countless worlds. They spoke of a lost planet found after 5,000 years, of machines that answered only to human touch, of a people once scattered who had risen united. They spoke of the Emperor's fall, and of the light that had spread from Earth to every corner of the galaxy. And always, the story ended the same way. Humanity was not weak. Earth was not lost. The throne of the Empire was shattered, but from its ruins a new flame had risen, bright, enduring, unbreakable. The flame of Earth.